Welcome to the WIHS Journal. Today is our first part of our second interview. On the broadcast with me today, we'll be featuring Matt Hammitt, a Grammy-nominated Dove Award-winning singer, songwriter, author, and speaker. And for nearly 2 decades, he served as a lead vocalist for the Christian band Sanctus Real. He's coming here to Connecticut to perform for you. And all the proceeds will benefit a pregnancy center, Anchor of Hope. And that's coming up August 9th at 7 p.m. at the Grand Arts Theatre in New London. Stay tuned for all the details.
Stand up when I can't, don't leave me.
Blessed that you'll be coming down here to Connecticut to do such a great benefit for God's children. But before we begin all that, why don't you just give us kind of a biography on you and how you began music and everything?
When I was 16 years old, I had met a guy named Chris Roman at Toledo Christian High School, which was the school that I went to pretty much my whole life, private Christian school in Toledo. And he was just playing his guitar in the cafeteria, and I walked over and we started talking about music, and we ended up starting a band together that people now know as Sanctus Real. And so we just started at 16 years old.
Wow.
And then when we graduated high school, we started getting, just different record label offers from the first group probably to offer us a record deal was a band called Audio Adrenaline, which you probably are familiar with.
Yes.
They had started a record label, and they wanted us to sign with their label at the time. And we ended up not signing with them. And then we signed with Sparrow Records instead. But that kind of started my career, doing music full time with the band. And so from about the year 2000, we put our first record out and then started touring nationally. And from 2000 until 2016, toured and made 8 albums with Sanctus Real. And so that was really how, I got my start, just starting this, garage band with my friends in high school that we never imagined that it would actually turn into something like it did.
I know, and you're so humble because I'm seeing here that you earned multiple Dove Awards and scored 14 top 5 and number 1 singles on Christian radio. So that's awesome.
It turned out to be way more than we would have imagined. I can't tell you how grateful I feel all the time when I get to think about those years and the fact that I still get to make music and use my creative gifts to serve and to do, provide for my family and to do the ministry that I love. So to be able to do those things creatively has been just a huge gift. I don't take it for granted at all.
So the song Lead Me became a defining anthem. How has its message aged for you over time?
In 2008, I came home from a pretty long run on the road with Sanctus Real, and my wife was just really struggling, feeling like a single mom basically at the time. I mean, because I had been gone so much that year as our career was growing, and we had 2 little kids at home. And I just remember her pouring her heart out to me. She really needed from me beyond just providing financially. I think at the time I thought I was doing a good job being a husband and being a father. And, she had the courage to really open up and tell me some of the ways that she needed me to show up more emotionally and show up more spiritually. And so that day, I actually wrote the first draft of the song, Lead Me, after a really life-changing but difficult conversation.
Yeah.
And, it became an anthem for me, not only out of ironic moments with that song for me. And the reason that I call it really my life-defining song is, number one, the song I wrote about being a more present husband and father, the success of that very song took me away from home even more.
Wow.
And then it was people singing that song back to me over the course of my, those last 4 or 5 years with Sanctus Real on the road. Hearing those voices sing those lyrics back is what really, I think, turned my heart to actually make the decision to step away and just devote, my life to being home more with my family. And so it really was a life-defining song for me in so many ways.
Seriously, right? Literally. And for you to step away from Sanctus Real to pursue a solo journey, how was that transition?
Yeah, it was really difficult just to set down a dream I had built really with my friends, and not just a dream, right? But we had built something really special, something that we were doing that we all loved and had done together for so many years. So I didn't know what would be next. So it was scary as well, just to set that down and go, okay, Lord, what's next? And it really ended up being, the Lord made it really apparent to me very quickly, his plans and all of that. I wrote a book called Lead Me that kind of unpacks the story of my life throughout that time, and how God really worked in my heart and in my life to make me not only a better follower of him, but a better husband and a better father and a better leader in general. And so that book, and then some of the music that I would continue to write, really helped me maintain a platform where I could really do what I loved in an environment that was really healthy for me and for my family, for me to be home more, for my wife and I to make more decisions about when I would be on the road and when I would go to do events. And so, it's been a really blessed season because I still get to share my story. I get to talk about my book and share messages as a speaker, but then also still sing, some of the old songs and sing some of the songs that I've written since I stepped away from Sanctus Real. So been a really sweet season of using my gifts in multiple ways.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited that you'll be coming here to Connecticut, August 9th. You're partnering with a pregnancy center, which is amazing. And tell us how that transition happened, why God, put that on your heart to come here and help this organization.
Yeah. So I've, over the past about 8 years, I've been an advocate for an organization called Save the Storks. It's a national pro-life organization, and Anchor of Hope is kind of affiliated with them in some ways. They partner with them because what Save the Storks does is they actually help local pregnancy centers kind of elevate parts of their services. They provide consulting and real practical help as well, and programs to just help spur on those local pregnancy centers. And so Save the Storks actually introduced me to Anchor of Hope, and they told me that they wanted to send me there to be part of this event. And so, I love it. It's a really unexpected piece of my life. But God has opened that door to share at pregnancy centers all across the country my story of walking through really difficult diagnosis with our third child, Bowen. And, when we found out that Bowen had severe heart disease and would need multiple open heart surgeries, we got a lot of pressure from doctors to end our pregnancy. And, I love to tell the story of how we chose life, and then how God took what the doctors told us would break our family and used it to make our family more whole.
I talk about love, I talk about faith, but some days I don't have enough. I talk about forgiveness.
Once again on the broadcast with us was Matt Hammitt, a Grammy-nominated Dove Award winner, singer, songwriter, and author and speaker. For 2 decades, he served as a lead vocalist for the Christian band Sanctus Real, and he will be coming here to Connecticut on August 9th at the Gardens Arts Theater. That's in New London, Connecticut. I hope you can join us for tomorrow. That's on Friday. We'll have part 2 of more of his story. All the proceeds for this evening filled with hope and inspiration will go to Anchor of Hope. It's a licensed pregnancy center in New London, proudly serving the women and men in that area. I'll be with you tomorrow, same time, same place on Friday.
And I talk about freedom.